I know why they hating on me, so I switch spots. Now we're running out of fuel, so fuck a pit stop. I've been ballin' since a youngin', so I take shots. She just wanna fuck me cause she know I get guac. I hit the jackpot, you a mascot. I want big rocks on my wristwatch.
July 19th, 2018. 20-year-old Joel Ortiz and 18-year-old Erick Ocasio. These kids pulled off a heist that would make them overnight millionaires. They targeted Saswata Basu, the CEO of Zeus, who has $5 million on one of his Bitcoin wallets. But how did they pull it off? Did they spend years mastering advanced hacking skills? Well, it was much simpler than that. These scammers did something very clever that anyone can do without any hacking skills. They just talked their way through it. It all began with a simple phone call from Basu to his mobile service provider. But this wasn't really Basu. Using a spoofed phone number, Joel Ortiz convinced the service provider that he was Basu and he had lost his phone. Now he needed to switch to a new one with the same phone number he had before. The provider is tricked into transferring Basu's number to a new SIM card that Joel Ortiz had controlled. Ortiz would now have full control over the victim's phone number. After gaining control, Ortiz used it to reset the victim's passwords by clicking Forgot Password. And since now he had control over his phone number, the security codes would go into his phone, which in turn will give him access to Basu's crypto wallet. And in just a few clicks, the cryptocurrency was transferred into the hands of the thieves. It was done. The transfer of approximately 1,000 bitcoins, valued over $5 million at the time, was executed successfully. How did they manage to pull off such a heist, and how could a trained customer support employee be fooled so easily? These are questions that may never fully be answered, but one thing was clear. The money was in the hands of the scammers, but the heist was not finished yet. As soon as the money reached into their accounts, they quickly started laundering the money. They converted the Bitcoin into other digital currencies like Ethereum and Monero, which have more privacy features and make it harder for authorities to track the crypto, a common tactic known as chain hopping. The idea was to convert the Bitcoin into more secure cryptocurrencies, making them harder to be traced. The Bitcoin was swapped for Zcash, the Zcash was swapped for Ethereum, and the Ethereum was swapped for Monero. They would repeat this process for several days with constant swapping in between cryptocurrencies, making their tracks harder to follow. Soon enough, all the stolen money was now clean and ready to be spent. Joel Ortiz didn't hold back and started planning all of his purchases. Luxury clothing, like Gucci and sport cars, while Ocasio decided to play it safe. Ortiz couldn't help but live the life he never got.
I know why they hating on me, so I switch spots. Now we're running out of fuel, so fuck a pit stop. I've been ballin' since a youngin', so I take.
Ortiz moved from Boston to luxurious party life off Hollywood, LA, renting luxurious Airbnbs and dressing himself in full Gucci outfits. Ortiz comes from a middle-class family, and he never got to enjoy the spoils that all of a sudden overnight he was enjoying. It made sense that he would want other people to know the life that he was now living, from pulling up in helicopters to showing massive amounts of cash. Ortiz never really had a girlfriend and any real-life friends. Money is the quickest way to that. He was an overnight multimillionaire and he wanted to show off, wearing $2,000 bottles of Dom Perignon out on his $50,000 Rolex and making clubs like they were his second home. But cars like a Porsche 911 and the BMW M4. But while Joel is living the high life, the police started digging into his online records. They were soon on his tracks. Joel isn't working alone, and he's a part of a lot of other heists and a part of a hacking group that help each other pull off these massive heists. How they got to know each other, the speculations is that they would play online games together, like Call of Duty. Each member had different tasks to complete for the heist, from researching the targeted victims to convincing the mobile service providers. But Joel's role was the most important to the whole operation. He was the guy holding the device with the swapped SIM card, so that put him on control of the whole heist operation. Joel thought he was unstoppable, but the investigators were already connecting the dots. The group didn't think that they would be able to trace the phone, but the investigators already started following the money. While Joel was spending his days in LA, he started attracting some very unwanted criminal attention. They were trying to get a piece of his money.
What's up, guys? Sat Zero here. I'm gonna be making a little live stream about what happened yesterday. It's crazy. But yesterday, someone or two black guys came to the house with guns and pointed at me and my friends. I had $8,000 cash and Rolex and a Bitcoin chain. Just screwed my mind over. I was so scared. Just trying to go back to Boston.
And on July 17th, 2018, the police already had collected enough evidence to arrest Joel. But this live video shows that at the time, Joel was planning on leaving LA, and he was planning to head back to Boston. The police had to be quick, because if Joel left LA, his capture would be out of the window. While Joel was entering the X-ray machine and put his belongings there, the police officers had already recognized him from his Gucci outfit. Joel Ortiz got arrested. Joel, who had lived like a king, was now being escorted away in handcuffs. The authorities were able to seize $250,000 worth of assets, which was a fraction of the 1,000 Bitcoin that he had stolen. Where was the rest of the money? Joel's hacking group had hidden the trail of most of the stolen cryptocurrency using a process called mixing, making the task of following that money almost impossible. But Joel was also being represented by public attorney. Now, how could a millionaire not have the money to hire an attorney? Even though he had stolen the Bitcoin, that did not mean that he got all of it. He was just the guy holding the phone. He was a decoy to the mastermind behind this whole operation. Someone who was vulnerable to fill the phone holder role. The group leader was the person who got all the money. Despite Joel's role as a decoy, he got the maximum sentence for the crime he committed, which is 10 years in prison. But what happened to everything else he bought? The cars, the clothes, and all that flashy stuff. So what happens when a criminal buys luxurious items like cars, and with those stolen money the government steps in and freezes those accounts through a process called assets forfeiture. This allows the authorities to take control of everything bought with the dirty money, such as cars, houses, and jewelry. And once these assets are seized, they're usually put up for auction with a lower price than when they were bought. In many cases, dealerships or buyers can purchase the assets. The money made from these auctions is used in a couple of ways. A portion will go towards compensating the victims of the crime, helping to recover some of their stolen funds, and another portion goes to cover the money used in the investigation of the crime and legal procedures. But the real question remains: who was the mastermind pulling the strings behind Joel's actions?